What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm gonna talk about how family is dead. Family is one of the most important structures. Family is so important for the development of a child, and having that solid family structure is it's super important for people's success and for people's future and all that stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, family's dead. Most families are screwed up. Most families are not what you want to be a part of, because what happens in most families is the opposite, where instead of being a platform to lift you up and instead of being a support network, it's actually this parasitic thing that drags you down. It's all these dramatic people, and most parents are very bad at being parents and don't give proper discipline, don't teach their children about proper respect, get angry at their kids, yell at their kids, don't set a good example, don't teach their kids responsibility, neglect their kids, don't spend proper time with them, are very selfish, conversely, a lot of kids are also spoiled brats and are disrespectful to their parents, and it's this whole vicious cycle, and obviously I put the responsibility on the parents, they're the adults, but I mean, it's worth saying that a lot of these kids are also just freaking little brats too, and it's very entitled, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare with these families, and the divorce rate is like 50%, and people got all these divorces, and then people got all that their kids here and their kids there and whatever, and I'm not trying to hate on people like that. Like, people got their family situation, who knows, that could have been me, having a kid out there that I got to see on the weekends or whatever. I get it, it happens, I'm not judging anybody, but it's just that's not a good. When everybody's doing that, it's not going to be conducive to a solid society, and I'm really a strong believer that kids need both the parents growing up, and that kids need their fathers growing up, and for a lot of families the dad's not even in the house, and there's multiple reasons why that can happen. I'm not going to judge that too much. I mean, sometimes the dad is a scumbag and whatever, and just dips out and is not doing what he's supposed to do. Sometimes the mom's a crazy Jezebel and makes it hard for the dad to get in touch with the kids. I've heard both stories. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happens with these situations, and I don't know. It seems like in a lot of these families, it's like either both the parents are crazy, or one parent is good and the other parent is crazy, or I don't know. Or there's one of the stepdads was actually good, and you're able to bond with him growing up, or sometimes there's no good adult figure. Sometimes people, I don't know. Sometimes the kids will have the grandparents will be a good adult figure. Sometimes there's no good adult figure in that house whatsoever, and it's worrisome. It's worrisome, because and even if you do have both the parents in the house, like when I grew up, I had both my parents in the house, but my parents were both narcissists and were dramatic people, and fought all the time, and I don't want to put my personal situation out here too much. I don't really feel like doing that today, but there was a lot of drama going up and coming up, and the things that I needed, the attention I needed, I didn't get, and there was a lot of very big unresolved problems, big issues that were not resolved, like probably between 5 and 10, like big, huge, major kind of things that like people were doing, and just it was a very, I don't know, it was a very disordered way to come up for me, and the needs I had were not met, and you know I guess in the end of the day, whether you have one parent or two parents or whatever, just love your kids. That's what's the most important thing. Love your kids. Throw everything else away. I say, just love your kids. And I mean, I felt like for me that love wasn't really there, and I don't know. I don't know, but people's families are busted up, and people's families are toxic, and I mean, I pretty much had to separate my family out for the most part. And there's some people I'll still talk to here and there, but for the most part, I realize that it's a big drain on me. And in order for me to move forward in my life, I have to really limit contact with it, unfortunately, And I think a lot of people are coming to the same conclusion because it's just constant drama and constant gaslighting and constant disrespect and constant games, and I just feel drained after it. I feel drained by the passive aggressive comments. I feel drained by all this weird performative little show they got to put on, and it's just there's always drama. There's always some kind of drama and some kind of thing and some kind of thing to like drag me into. In some kind of way where I end up feeling some kind of disrespect. I don't know, or just some kind of something. I don't know. A lot of people aren't even doing holidays anymore. I don't really do that much holidays. I want to do some holidays in the future. I want to find good people to rock with that I could do holidays with, but people don't really do holidays anymore. Kids weren't out trick-or-treating or anything, and I didn't really see much where I was at, and yeah, I don't know. People's families are just, the whole family structure, I think, has just been destroyed by the Matrix, I think the Matrix has just taken the family structure, picked up the axe, and destroyed it, and I think families are just messed up. And I think it's really hard to have a good family in this day and age. You really got to be separate from the system, and you got to think for yourself, and you got to not get caught up in all the BS, not caught up in all the me stuff, not caught up in all the materialism, not caught up in all the drama. Because, man, I mean, I wish the family situation was better, but and the thing is like broken families leads to broken people. Like, I would say like 90% of people I've known who've had bad addictions or ended up going to jail, or 90% of the people I've known who've had like messed up lives, it started back at home. Maybe 95%. It started back at home. There was 95% of people I've known who've had messed up lives, it has started in a broken home. Like the vast majority of the time, broken homes lead to broken people. And then those broken people generally can create more broken homes, or can cause, I don't know, or just, it ends, people's lives just end up getting messed up by this. Because that's the core, that's like the core wound, the childhood wound of like, I'm a little baby, mommy, daddy, why don't you love me? That's the core wound that a lot of broken people are carrying around. And with these broken families that we have, it's just going to lead to more brokenness in society, more messed up people, more narcissists, more toxic people, more haters, and just more people that are just on the edge, more people who are just depressed, unhappy, on the edge. And I don't know what we do to fix it. I don't know what we do to fix it, but man, I mean, like a family should be a place of peace and a place where people can come together and a place where people can be themselves. But a lot of these families, it's so much jealousy, it's so much drama, it's so much selfishness, and you just kind of realize, like, man, these people are just looking to kind of get what they can get out of me, and I don't even really feel like I can be my own person when I'm around these people. I feel like they want me to kind of be different around them, and yeah, I mean, that was a big one for me, where I just felt like I couldn't even be myself around my family, and I think just the death of community overall. I mean, family and community are closely linked. So when family dies, community dies. And I think with family also, like, everybody's got to be on the same page. Like, you're doing these family, and people have all this different politics, and they got this different religion and this different that. And I mean, people are going to be different. That happens. But I think it's just people are so, like, divided. And then that divides the families, and it's just, man, and I think people just don't really value family that much. They see their family as something they can extract and they can get something out of. that they can get money from them, they can get time, they can get their attention, they can get somebody to listen to their problems, they can get somebody to complain to, they can get somebody to get together and gossip with, and they can just like do bad decisions together. And man, I really want this family situation to change. I hope to one day have a good family, and I hope to one day be a good father and a good husband, and to be a good leader for my family and a good protector, and to make sure to provide and to make the sacrifices and to set the right example, and to be that leading father figure that will hold the family together, and not be some selfish, silly guy, and for me to find the right woman to do that with, and that's what I want to do, and I don't know. I think a lot of people just don't think about their kids or their future or anything like that, because if, let's say, I decide to, I don't know, I'm going to go fly to Vegas, have some party, be stupid. I met some girl, I knocked her up, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm trying to go to the custody battle so I can see my kid on the weekend, and I got these lawyers, and I'm yelling at people on the phone, before you know it, it's just, it can go from, it can get bad real fast, it can get bad real fast, and I'm just saying, just like be responsible about what you do, about who you are with romantically. I always say this, like, if you can't see yourself being with that person long term, don't be doing nothing romantic with them. Just don't, unless that's someone you're with and you feel like, all right, there's some long term potential here. If you don't see that or feel that, don't be doing that, because I don't know. I feel like people are not thinking about their kids, or people are making crazy decisions, and even people with careers. A lot of people, they're so about their career, and they're just like, screw my kids. I'm just gonna work and I'm not gonna spend any time with them, or I don't know. People, they get all their, I don't know. People got other stuff they want. People just get selfish, and as parents, they don't want to spend time with their kids or give their kids the proper attention, and a lot of these houses are just chaotic, and you can see a lot of parents just have given up or just don't care or just all about themselves. And yeah, I mean, if you have a family, when you have kids and a family and all that, like, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the me stuff kind of needs to be put aside a bit. You gotta put your own interests and hobbies to the side a little bit to be there for your kids, And I also want to say, like, if you have a situation, be in your kid's life no matter what, like, if you got a situation, I'm not judging. I that could be me. I did dumb stuff. I slept around when I was younger. It could be me. Be in your kid's life any way you can. Especially, I'm talking to the men watching this, the guys watching this. If you got a kid, try to be in that kid's life in any way you can. Try to be a dad to your kid in any way you can, however you can. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what your situation is. It doesn't matter what your money is or whatever, Try to be in your kid's life in any way you can, I mean, again, what I said is just like, if you love your kids, if you really have a heart for your kids, it doesn't matter what you're going through, what's going on. It doesn't matter if it's a divorce, a split up, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you really love your kids and have a heart for your kids, you'll take care of them. You'll do the right stuff, and I mean, just be in your kid's life in any way you can. If you have kids out there, just be in their life however you can, as best you can. Just try to do it. Yeah, and I think this is gonna be it for this video. But man, families are broken up. Families are busted up. It's a lot of other stuff that goes into this, the broken family structure. There's a lot of other things, and I mean, I'm actually gonna touch on this next point, and I really think a lot of this, a lot of the liberalism and the feminism, and some people are gonna get mad at me for saying this, but a lot of the liberalism and the feminism and that type of stuff has contributed to this. A lot of the stuff of we're all going to be on our own and do things on our own and we don't need nobody and all that kind of stuff. And women don't need men and men don't need women and all this kind of like battle of the sexes and whatever. None of that stuff is helping the equation. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of that stuff is also, it denigrates the role of a father. It denigrates the role of men. And the role of a father is very important in the family. And it denigrates that. And there's other problems too. It's issues on both sides. It's issues on a lot of sides. But yeah, and then I mean, some people will say that some of the government programs for, I don't know, they would give welfare for a woman if she's got kids and doesn't have a man, and that there is some stuff the system encourages that probably isn't good. I'm not like well researched on all that, so I don't know, but I think there's a lot of different ways that the system in the Matrix has broken down the family system, and I think a lot of it does come more down to the culture. And our culture is a very selfish, me kind of culture. Because if you go to if you go to anywhere outside the West, it's very family oriented. You go to Eastern Europe, family oriented. You go to Asia, you go to China, the Philippines, Japan, whatever, very family oriented. You go to, you go to Greece or Italy or something, very family oriented. You go to all these other places. You go to Mexico, very family oriented. You go to all these other places. You go anywhere in the world. It's a very family oriented thing. Things are very family oriented. That's seen as like the core structure. And then I think it's like we get to the West and we're just like, we're too arrogant and we don't need that. We're too selfish and arrogant to need a family, and you just end up in a situation where it's what's happening all around you. Because everybody else is doing it, it's tough to avoid it. It's the culture, so it's easy to end up getting swept up in this stuff. And I mean, people have broken families all over the world. They do. People have broken families all over the world. It's just something that happens. It's just a part of the fallen nature of man. It's something that happens. But I really think in the West we are leading the charge of that, and we're not setting a good example to the rest of the world. And man, families are just so broken up, and I think it's part of why people are so unhappy and depressed and stuff, because it's like they don't have that solid family structure. They don't. It's just what we want. We need that on a core level. We need that family and community, and it's just we're so divided up and divided out and separated out, and yeah. I'm going to end this here, but thank you all for watching. God bless you all. It's much love for you all, and I really, really appreciate you all, so thank you all so much.